All right, strap in everyone, we're going deep on this one. Today's deep dive is all about Project Ecliptica. It's this video game concept, really got us thinking. Basically, picture a stealth action thriller, but set in the near future, corporations are running the show. You play as Victor Hale, he's a psychic operative, super mysterious past, and some seriously crazy abilities.
The cool thing here is how it blends like classic game elements. Think Hitman, stealth, strategy, but then mix in the psychic combat from a game like Second Sight. And on top of all that, they've got this like crazy narrative, kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2, super twisty, unreliable narrators, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds like we're in for a wild ride. Shadowy corporations, psychic powers, and a plot that'll keep us guessing. But let's start with Victor Hale himself. This guy wakes up on a sabotage space station, amnesia, doesn't know how he got there, and things are going very wrong.
Classic opening, for sure. But what sets Project Ecliptica apart is the AI, Oracle. It's not just some voice giving you missions, well, the source material hints that Oracle might be part of Victor's own mind. So it raises all these questions about, identity, free will. Like, a part of your mind can be messed with. Are you really in control,
And that's a thought that'll keep you up at night. How much can you trust an AI that's, like, part of you? Especially when you're in this world of corporate conspiracies and people who want to use your powers.
Yeah, and that brings us to Syncope Industries. They're the corporation behind Project Ecliptica. From what we found, they're deep into mind control tech, psychic experimentation, that kind of thing. Publicly, it's all about, helping humanity. Yeah. But their methods are super secret, kind of raises some red flags.
Right, they've got that trust us, we're the good guys vibe, which usually means they're up to something shady. Then there's Elena Kassoff, Victor's former handler. Seems like she betrayed him at first, but she claims she's fighting against Syncope's real agenda, so is she legit? Or is there more to her story?
This is where the Metal Gear Solid influence really comes in. They call it a false choice. Victor has to choose between two sides. But neither might be totally trustworthy. It gets you thinking about power, about truth. How do you make a choice when you don't know who to believe?
Sounds like Victor and the player will be second-guessing everything, trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces might not even fit. So it's not just about action. There's moral dilemmas, strategic choices, the whole thing.
Exactly. The gameplay seems like it's got that Hitman-style stealth. You got to observe, plan your moves, use disguises, distractions, but then add in the psychic powers, and it's a whole new game.
The source material mentioned telekinesis, interacting with the environment, maybe pulling a lever to open a secret passage.
Or causing a distraction by, throwing something heavy.
It adds a layer of, creativity, problem solving. You're not just following a path, you're shaping the world.
And then there's mind control, which is ethically complex. Imagine having the power to influence people's thoughts. How would you use that? What are the consequences?
A power that could definitely be abused. And it seems like Project Ecliptica is going to make players confront that. But before we go full-on morality police, let's talk locations. We're not just stuck on a space station. Jungles, underwater facilities, high-tech cruise ships, even a moon base.
It's not just for looks, though.
Yeah.
The variety means each level will have unique challenges, different ways to use Victor's powers.
Like, in the jungle, maybe you use telekinesis to move plants around?
Create cover or distractions, yeah.
Or mind control an animal, turn it into an ally.
On a cruise ship, you might blend in with the crowd, social stealth.
Gather info, set traps.
It seems like the possibilities are endless. That's what makes Project Ecliptica so interesting. It's pushing the boundaries of what stealth action game can be. Mixing familiar stuff with new mechanics, and this thought-provoking story.
Yeah, it's more than just a game. It's like a commentary on, everything.
Definitely makes you think, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be diving even deeper into Project Ecliptica. Stay with us.
Welcome back, folks, to our Project Ecliptica deep dive. We've barely scratched the surface of this crazy world. So much more to uncover.
You got that right. We were talking about all the different locations and how Victor's powers might work in those places. But let's zoom in on those abilities for a sec. Telekinesis, mind control, precognition, it's a lot.
It's potent, yeah. And the source material makes it clear. These powers, they're not just for show. They're a core part of the gameplay.
So it's not just about having cool powers, it's about how you use them to, solve problems, overcome obstacles.
Exactly. Take telekinesis. Say you're breaking into a high-security place, need to shut down the cameras. You could use your mind to control the panel, short-circuit it, all without even being in the room.
Talk about next-level spy stuff. It's like a mental chess game, outsmarting everyone, without them even knowing you're there.
Then you've got mind control, which, we talked about the ethics. But in terms of gameplay, the possibilities are huge. Think about making a guard open a door for you, or look the other way while you sneak past.
Adds a whole layer of social manipulation, right? It's not just hiding, it's about controlling the people around you.
But it's not always about controlling others. You might use your powers to get information, like a psychic interrogation, reading someone's mind, finding out secrets that way.
That changes everything. It's like a psychic lie detector, finding clues by tapping into people's memories.
And then there's precognition, seeing glimpses of the future. Imagine knowing where enemies are going to be, avoiding traps, even planning your attacks perfectly.
Like a sixth sense, a way to cheat fate. But we talked about the risks, right? These powers have a downside.
The source material mentions psychic backlash. The more you use your powers, the more you risk losing control.
So it's a trade-off. Power for stability
You could become mentally unstable or even manipulated.
adds another layer of tension to the game. It's not just about being strong, it's about using your powers wisely.
And remember, Victor's not the only one with these abilities. The source material hints at other powerful psychics out there.
So it's not just Victor against the corporation, it's like a psychic war, different groups fighting for power.
Exactly. And Victor's stuck in the middle, trying to figure out who to trust, who to fight.
How do you even make those choices when people can mess with your mind? Sounds like Project Ecliptica will keep us guessing till the end. Who's the real bad guy? What are they really after?
And let's not forget Oracle, the AI that might be part of Victor's mind. We talked about that. How weird is it to have an AI in your head?
Can Victor trust Oracle's advice? What if it's being controlled by someone else? Or what if it has its own agenda?
It gets you thinking about identity, about who you really are. Victor's trying to remember who he is, but what if someone's hiding the truth from him?
It's like he's in a maze, but the walls are his own memories, and this AI is whispering in his ear, maybe helping, maybe not.
Creates a real sense of paranoia, which works well for the story. And the gameplay reflects that too. Remember the false choice thing. You have to make decisions without knowing all the facts. You might be walking into a trap.
It's not just about being good at the game. It's about thinking critically.
Analyzing the situation, trying to figure out what will happen.
Project Ecliptica rewards you for being smart, for questioning everything.
Speaking of questioning things, let's talk about the enemies. Syncope is the main bad guy, but there are hints of others lurking around.
You've got Elena and her group, who might have their own plans, and then other psychic operatives maybe working for Syncope, maybe not. Sounds like Victor will have his hands full.
And it's not just humans he has to worry about. We mentioned the xenomorph, the alien creature, right?
Yeah, like from the Alien movies.
But there are hints of other genetically engineered monsters, probably from Syncope's experiments.
So we're talking bioengineered freaks, rogue AI, psychic things. This world sounds pretty dangerous.
And the source material mentions some specific encounters. That sounds pretty intense.
Like what? Spill the beans?
Well, there's this one that takes place in zero gravity. Imagine using telekinesis to fly around, dodging bullets, maybe even using your powers to throw debris.
That's awesome, like a space ballet with psychic powers.
Then there's one in a virtual reality world, where the real and the digital are all mixed up. Fighting programs and the environment keeps changing.
Whoa, it's like the Matrix, but with psychic powers.
Could have enemies that teleport, become invisible, anything.
The possibilities are crazy.
And of course we can't forget the boss battles.
Oh yeah. What kind of crazy showdowns will we see?
We don't know everything, but they mentioned a battle that takes place inside someone's mind. A psychic duel, basically.
Okay, it's like a battle of wills, pure psychic power.
Trying to break the other person mentally.
That's intense and kind of scary.
It's like nothing we've seen in a video game before.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It sounds like Project Ecliptica is pushing the limits of gaming, not just the gameplay, but the story, the psychological stuff too.
That's what makes it so captivating. It makes you question reality, the human mind, good and evil. It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
Back again for our deep dive on Project Ecliptica. If you're just tuning in, well, you missed a lot. Psychic powers, corporate secrets, a whole world that's like half real, half not.
We've been going deep on this game concept. It's hooked us. Stealth, action, psychic battles, and a story that's full of twists. And we're just getting started.
Last time we were talking about boss battles, like fighting in someone's mind. Pretty crazy, right? But let's switch gears a bit. Talk about replayability, or how much a game keeps you coming back.
Super important. No one wants a game you play once and you're done. And from what we've seen, the Project Ecliptica devs get that. They're putting a lot of effort into making it worth replaying.
They've talked about different starting points. Maybe you see the story from a new angle, or even play as someone else. Like, what if you could play as Elena, Victor's handler?
That'd be cool, seeing the same events from her side. Maybe you understand her motivations better or find hidden clues.
And they mention randomized stuff like where enemies are, what objectives you get. So even the same level could be totally different each time.
Yeah, keeps things fresh, unpredictable, makes the world feel alive, like it reacts to what you do.
And speaking of choices, they've hinted at unlockable powers, tools, that kind of thing. Encourages you to try different play styles. Maybe your first time you're all about stealth, but then you go full psychic warrior.
I like that. Keeps the gameplay interesting. Imagine finding a new telekinesis move or mind control that lets you possess, like, a whole group.
Mind-blowing, right? And with multiple endings, it's clear they want you to play it again and again. Each time could be a totally different outcome, depending on what you do.
It's about giving the player control, letting them shape their own experience.
Speaking of shaping things, let's talk level design. We talked about the locations, space stations, jungles, all that. But it's the details that really stand out. Like, they mentioned an abandoned theme park. How creepy is that?
Oh yeah, perfect for a spooky level. Imagine walking through a broken roller coaster, all quiet and overgrown.
They're really good at taking familiar places and making them unsettling. And it's not just visuals, the sound design matters too.
For sure. Imagine the sounds in that theme park. The wind creaking the Ferris wheel, faint echoes of kids screaming.
Or like a piece of metal suddenly falling from a ride.
It's all about immersion, using sound to make you feel uneasy, on edge.
They also mentioned a prison level, classic.
Claustrophobic cells, guards everywhere, always the threat of violence.
Imagine trying to escape from that.
Got to be resourceful, use your powers to trick the guards, hack the systems.
Maybe even team up with other prisoners.
Ooh, that brings up moral choices. Do you help the others, even if it's risky?
Or just focus on getting yourself out.
That kind of choice could change the whole game. Your allies, your resources, even the ending you get.
It's about choices that matter, that affect Victor and everyone around him.
And it's not just about escaping physical prisons, right? The game seems to be about mental prisons, too. Victor's amnesia. That's like a prison of its own. Trapped in his own mind, not knowing who he is.
And then his powers could be used against him to control him.
Turning him into a puppet, basically.
That's dark, but it fits with the themes of freedom and control.
Victor's fighting to be free, in every sense. From his past, from the people manipulating him, even from his own powers.
It's a fight a lot of people can relate to, you know? Everyone struggles with self-doubt, with pressure, with temptation.
Project Ecliptica uses sci-fi and psychic stuff to explore what it means to be human, especially in a world where reality is so fluid.
You know, even if this game never actually gets made, it's already got people thinking about some big questions.
Definitely. We've talked about identity, mind control, AI becoming conscious, how to make choices when you don't have all the facts.
These are important questions, not just in a game, but in real life, too.
As technology changes, as the lines between real and fake get blurry, we're going to have to face these things head on.
Project Ecliptica is just a game, but it's a way to explore these ideas, maybe even prepare us for the future.
That's what a good game can do, make you think, challenge your perspective.
So whether you're a gamer or just someone who likes to think, Project Ecliptica gives you a lot to chew on.
That's for sure.
We'll leave you with this. What would you do as Victor? How would you use those powers? And what kind of future do you see for humanity in a world like this?
Lots to ponder, folks.
Until next time, keep asking questions and stay curious.